Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm doing a review for ClearWire. And if you guys know what ClearWire is, it's a 4G service owned by Sprint, but it's its own company. Now, what ClearWire is doing is they're basically promoting their own internet service alongside Verizon and Time Warner Cable. They're offering 4G speeds and without the trouble of actually setting up and having a guy come to your house and drilling in your walls and setting up cable. It's just a little box. You put a modem, you put alongside, and then you just plug it into your computer through your Wi-Fi or through your Ethernet. So I picked up Clear in April because I didn't want to go through the whole trouble of getting Time Warner or Verizon. So I picked it up, I set it up, bought it at the retail kiosk that they had in Staten Island Mall. Now first the retail guy, who's by the way like 6'5" guy, big, bulky, and he didn't know much. I was asking him about like how many megabits does it get? He's like, hold on. Oh, it gets about 30 to 40. I'm like, don't you think you should know that offhand? So he didn't. He came off as like this big jock that didn't know much about technology, but yet he was selling technology. I don't know how that works. But anyway, so I got it from him, brought it home, set it up. Now, as I set it up, there was a couple of hiccups, but I got it to work. Tried it for about a month. It didn't do what I needed to do. They advertised 4G speeds, but it was nowhere near 4G. It was about like, at max, I think I got 4, maybe 5 megabits per second. Upload speed was about like 8 to 900 kilobits per second. So it wasn't anything I needed. I needed something a lot more closer to like 30 or 40 down and probably around like 5 to 10 up. So it didn't do it for me. So I brought it back about a month later. Brought it up to the same guy and I was like, hey, listen, if you remember me, yeah, this thing didn't work out, I'm gonna go with something else. So I want to cancel my account. He's just like, okay. Like, do I leave this with you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do I get a receipt? And he goes like, oh, well, I'll just cancel. I'm like, okay. You sure it's gonna be canceled? He was like, yeah, I'll cancel it. If you don't hear from me by Sunday, then call me back. I'm like, what? He's just like, well, I'll have to call them and go through a whole song and dance. I'm like, you can't just cancel it now? I mean, just go on the computer and cancel it. He says, no, you have to call corporate and this and that. I'm like, okay. To me, he seemed more interested in just grabbing the hardware. And it sounded like he was pulling my chain. Anyway, so I was just like, whatever. If he was going to screw up my account, I was just going to report him or, I don't know, do something. So, I think a couple weeks into May, I get a call from ClearWire saying I owe them money. And they took about $70-something from me. I was like, what? So they keep calling me. I tried to get in. I tried, basically they called me and I tried to pick up the phone. Unfortunately, it's an answering machine. Now, I don't know. I'm really busy. Was juggling like 3 jobs. I don't have time to be on hold for like 20 minutes. So, I was just trying to figure out maybe the situation will work out itself. Maybe I'll stop by ClearWire. So I tried to give him a call a couple times. The automated service is just a pain in the neck. Eventually, I got in touch with somebody, an operator. I told him the whole story. She was just like, I'm sorry to hear that. Can I put you on hold? I'm like, okay. So I'm on hold. I'm on hold. Eventually, she doesn't come back. I hang up the phone. I actually have to either email them or I'm going to have to either, I don't know, call the Better Business Bureau or something because their customer service is atrocious. The guys at the kiosk are horrible. They have like no information. They don't do nothing. They just want to make the sale as quick and as humanly as possible. And they don't really care about how you feel about their product. All in all, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. The concept of it is great. For $60, $70 you get the box, but then you also get a MiFi, which you can carry with you, which is even awesome. because especially if you go to a hotel where you don't have internet, it comes in handy. However, the speeds, if you're doing web browsing, it's fine for you. If you're going to be doing video in HD, or if you're going to be doing gaming, not for you at all. The customer service is a big drawback. If their customer service was a lot better, where they called me and it was not it wasn't an automated service that called me, and it was an actual human operator, then I would have said, you know what, it would have went up a notch. And if they had good salespeople, it would have went up another notch. But at this point, because of their customer service, because of a couple of snags, and also when I was using the product, there was a lot of times where like you would use it, you get 5 bars, and all of a sudden it drops to nothing, and it keeps searching for a signal. And this happened repeatedly throughout the whole month. I had to bring it back and get another box on top of that. That was a big problem with me, because a lot of times, you know, you'd want to go use the computer, you can't because it's searching for a signal. And they're like, oh, it's things that get in the way, you know, maybe you're not close enough to the window. Like, how close to the window do I have to be? They're like, well, right next to the window. I'm like, well, I want the computer on the other side of the room. I don't want it where you guys want it. I want to put it where I want it to be. Like, yeah, that's not going to work. Excuse me? So I was really upset about that. So my review of ClearWire is 2 thumbs down. It's going to be 2 thumbs down until customer service comes back and that searching crap that pops up on the modem is fixed. So both those 2 things need to be fixed. Otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it at all, guys. So that's my review, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.